All right, SAA is soaring through the skies once again. After 18 months of being grounded, the national carrier has started with 3 daily flights on its popular route between Johannesburg and the city of Cape Town. Regional flights around the continent are expected to start from next week. eNCA's Devan Murugan is at the OR Tambo International Airport. Let's go to him now. So, Devan, how did this commercial flight go for you? It's the first time. How was your experience?
Well, look, 4 hours in the air. Good afternoon, Masejo. We left Johannesburg earlier this morning, got to Cape Town, turned around and experienced the flight once again. And by all measures, Masejo, this was a smooth flight. We had a good, pleasant experience from the cabin crew. It was a comfortable flight, both to Cape Town and back. But here's the catch. I mean, this is not where the traditional problem lies with South African Airways, does it? I mean, this airline has a problem with the management, the finances. It's bled the fiscus through a number of bailouts. There has been irregular expenditure over the past several years. So that's where the real issue lies. And this perhaps was a test, this initial route or these initial routes for the next few weeks on how they really handle this and eventually start making returns. And that measure will come, I suppose, Masejo, in the next few days.
Now, we've had quite a difficult, 18 months or more around the world. How possible is the resurrection of SAA, especially coming back when our economy is looking so bleak?
No, you're quite right by painting that picture or that context of the environment. On the one hand, we've got a battered economy because of COVID-19. Air travel is certainly not what it used to be. And the players that are there are extremely competitive. You know, you have the smaller airlines in there. So how SAA gets back into this battered market is a crucial one. So they will have to sit down, number one, consider what routes are viable, what routes are there for the taking in terms of where they have the competitive advantage. The other area is the area of costs. You know, how do you become operational by limiting the amount of expenses you have? And I had a chance earlier to speak to the commercial executive at SAA, Simon Smith, Newton Smith, that's his name. And he told me, look, it's all about, it starts with the very small thing like fleets, for example. What type of planes do you fly? How do you manage them? Let's take a listen as to how that part of the costing works for this executive.
We're restarting with 3 Airbus A319s. It's a full Airbus fleet, so 3 Airbus A319s, 2 Airbus A320s and 1 Airbus A330. So if you look at the original fleet that South African Airways had, these are the most efficient aircraft from that original batch. And, you know, it's really important how you fly and where you fly these aircraft to make sure that, you know, the capacity and the operating costs are optimized. One of the reasons why we've launched with a fairly light footprint in the domestic market, and our primary focus is rebuilding in the regional market, and that all starts on Monday.
So Dakato Consortium, where do they fit in this whole partnership?
All right, so that's the equity partner you were talking about, the newly signed in equity partner, 51% of SAA essentially going to them in the deal. But there are some frustrations, Masejo, that, you know, the real finalization of that deal has not indeed been penned down. They are promising to bring in 3.5 billion rand to SAA. As far as today's launch is concerned and operation is concerned, they have not been involved at all. And simply they tell us in the week that they're concentrating on really finalizing this share aspect of the deal. It's apparently very complex. So they're not involved in today's relaunch. Apparently the money that's been used to get the airline off the ground for today's activities or trips were actually money that was left over from the business rescue exercise that ended in April. But there are some frustrations now as to the fact that, look, the equity partner has to actually finalize things. We are told by SAA that perhaps by the end of the year we'll get the consortium partner on board and owning part of this airline. The reason it's there, the deputy or the director general from the Department of Public Enterprises tells us yesterday, is because there simply cannot be any more bailouts to SAA. The equity partner brings with it the expertise on finances and flying, and you know they would think that the bailout situation is a thing of the past. So the quicker this deal gets signed in finalization, the better for everyone, I suppose, Ms. Effa.
All right, eNCA business editor Devan Murugan out for us at the OR Tambo International Airport. Thank you very much for your time.